the DORK podcast with Rich Keefe. It's the DORK podcast. Keefe Davey. It's the DORK podcast. Hashtag. It's the hashtag DORK podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hashtag Dork. My name is Rich Keefe, joined as always by Davey Eyeballs. He is Ray Von Day. All hail the king of ginger ale. It's Ryan Davey. Davey, how are you?
Feeling good. So when you call me Ray Von Day, it gives me very like Chocolate Rain vibes.
Chocolate Rain?
That was Taze on Day.
One hit wonder, or did he have a follow-up?
I don't believe he had a follow-up, but like you can't. I think he knew better than to try to like follow up Chocolate Rain.
I mean, do you think he made $1 million off of that?
I hope so. For Taze on Days, he turns away from the mic to breathe in.
I respect it because then when if you're just closing your eyes listening to it, you're like, this guy's not taking any breaths.
He's just doing a chocolate rain. Remember that?
Yeah, of course I remember that.
Chocolate rain. I don't know how you sing like that.
I thought he had like a command though. Like I thought he was good. And then I think didn't he do a Tosh Point oh?
It was like a remix.
No, but Tosh Point oh. Web Redemption. Didn't he do a Web Redemption with him?
He did. Yeah, there was so much. The internet was so much better back then. We made fun of people. Can we just start doing that again, for Christ's sake?
Yeah, like Grape Stomp Lady. Yeah. Grape Stomp Lady is one of the best. Like fun shit like that. Now it's just like people hate people and people are mean.
The people who know me best know that like someone getting the wind knocked out of them is my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah, you do send a lot of those to the group chat.
I laugh. I don't know why you all don't, because man, it's that funny.
Good wind knock.
I think that's the funniest thing.
It's a good time. I like a good wind knock. Ryan, what is the Movember update? We are rolling right along. We're about midway through. By the time this podcast hits the podcasting speakers, we're about midway through the month of Movember. How are things looking on the old
Things
page?
Are looking very good. And everybody, again, an incredible amount of support from this community. And I cannot thank you enough for raising awareness for men's health. We are currently sitting at $1,532.
Hell yeah.
Which is great.
And not to stop the people from sending the money in, which I highly recommend. But I know
what if I told you?
I was gonna say I know a couple people that are still kind of saving up, and there might be a little bit later, nice flurry at the end, is what I'm hearing.
And what they're saying out there too is that the good people of Pringles, yes, Pringles, the snack chip. I don't think they call them potato chips. I think they call them like. I don't think they're actually real. I don't think they can legally call them potato chips.
Are you supposed to eat a whole tube at once? I feel like I usually eat like at least half a tube. Sometimes
it's one of those. It's a snack that will sneak out. You're done with it before you know it.
You're like, God damn, she had a lot of Pringles.
And I don't know what they put in those sour cream and onion ones, but man, are those good.
Yeah. Matt Byrne in the chat. Potato crisps.
But the good people of Pringles. So the next 10 people who donate $25 or more, they will chip in $25 themselves starting tomorrow at noon. So if you were saving up and you're like, oh, I only have like $25 that I can give, great. Pringles will match it. They will double it for you.
You're doubling it.
So this is a great time to do it, and good look for Pringles for doing that. And to all of you who even consider donating, it means the world to me. It means the world to the men in your life. And please continue to support in any way that you are able. Thank you very much. And grow your mustaches and show us your dirt squirrels, because that's important too, believe it or not.
Hashtag dirt squirrel, and $100 into the pot for that as well. So all good. Excuse me. I've been fighting like a cough. I can't get rid of this.
Yeah, you sound like, well, you talk for a living.
Which sucks. It's like the worst thing, because anything else, you're like, whatever. Like you got like a tummy ache or a headache or an earache, you just go about your show. But if you can't talk right doing radio shows and podcasts, it's like, what's this asshole's problem? I'm like, I don't know. I get like a scratchy throat. I'm gonna tell you. But I'll tell you what, we have a lot to get to though, Ryan. A jam-packed episode.
This week in DORK.
A lot of Marvel stuff coming out with the D23, and we got they referred to it as a special look. Basically like an extended trailer for Thunderbolts. I'll be honest. This looks incredible. I cannot wait for Thunderbolts. I think this is going to be awesome. I have quite a bit of excitement for Thunderbolts, and I think your girl Florence Pew 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 is going to steal the show. I think she's going to kick ass in this.
She steals the show and everything she does. Did you see?
Fair.
I was actually mad at this information. She did like for Vanity Fair or something. She just decided to do like some contortionist trick.
Yeah, I saw that.
All that she's a contortionist too. What am I supposed to do with that information? What am I supposed to do?
I
can't handle
that. I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to do with that.
Me neither.
Just in my past.
Do whatever you want with that information.
Yeah, but then that's somehow not right either because she's a little doll of a person.
So this does seem, yes, she is. Fucking Zach Braff. She was with Zach Braff. Jesus.
You think he's got a big dripping hog?
Yeah, I do.
Must, right?
I do think that. Yeah. You ever see Garden State?
Yeah, unfortunately. That was one of those movies that was like forced upon me. Like people like made me say that movie was good.
Well, it was. I mean, Natalie Portman was in it. I like Natalie Portman.
Wearing a helmet the whole time.
I like Garden State. I mean, I don't think I could ever watch it again. I have no desire to watch it again.
You know, I think the thing that pisses me off the most, Garden State was a fine movie. But the fact that like what was thrust upon me was not that movie, but the fact that the Shins were like any kind of band.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm rejecting that.
Get your sad bastard music out of here,
dude. Speaking of music, Ryan, I know you're the music man on the podcast.
Hell yeah, I am.
This week, you know what's coming out?
What's coming out?
The new Linkin Park.
I know. I don't know how I feel about that.
I feel great about this. I'm fine. This will be good. I've heard like 2 of the songs already. They sound pretty good to me. Because I know Chester Bennington's son was mad.
And his mom was mad too.
And his mom was, but like, why can't they keep going?
Because I think it was not that they kept going, is that they said they weren't going to, and then did it not telling them.
I don't think they need their permission.
I don't think so either, but it's like, and I think it's more of like a courtesy. Like you're gonna, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I think.
I don't know, man. It's been a long time. It's not like they were like, oh, this is sad. Then they're like in the recording studio. Like it's been a long time.
It's been a while, but it's also like this woman went to bat for like Danny Masterson too. Like,
yeah, she came out and like fucking said like that was a mistake. Like she said like,
I know, but like way to back that. You can't really like walk that back. You know what I mean?
No. But she certainly didn't defend it. And I think she said like I mean, who knows what's true and what isn't? But I think she was like, didn't really know him that well, and then like once she found out what was going on, she's like, I mean, I don't know what happened, but just the music itself, there are a lot of bad people out there making music.
Oh, so many bad people.
You know what I mean? Making movies, making music, playing sports. So I'm like, anyway, the songs I've heard are good. I'll rip the whole album, see how it goes.
You know what? I'm going to say this too. A band that I love that replaced their singer and they're touring now, and the guy's actually fucking crushing it. If you have not watched anything that Stone Temple Pilots has done in the last couple of years, woo,
real good.
Oh my God, they played like they did like a COVID thing where they played like the entire like Purple album, the Tiny Music album.
Oh, really?
Unbelievable, unreal. You got to check it out. It's so good.
I will check that out. But anyway, Thunderbolts, I think, might be my Marvel movie I'm most looking forward to that's coming out in the next couple years.
I gotta tell you,
you're not having it.
You see the trailer for Brave New World too.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm jumping the gun on this, but that looks pretty good too.
Yeah, they're showing you full Red Hulk now, which I think they were like, we kind of need to show this so people will go, because this is the next one. So Thunderbolts is until May. Captain America Brave New World is in February.
Yeah.
I think Falcon, or I guess Captain America, excuse me, but Captain America with the wings looks pretty sick when he's like both. When like there's that scene where Thunderbolt Ross is like, you're not Steve Rogers. And he's like, I know. And then it cuts to him with like the wings, red, white, and blue, and the shield. That looks pretty badass.
Cutting the car in half with the wings.
Yeah.
Like Ray cut the wing off the tie. That was pretty awesome.
Good question from Matthew in the chat. Do you think Red Hulk has a big dripping hog?
Big veiny bastard.
Yeah,
Was that
obviously
in
Matthew,
Mallrats?
I
He's
do.
like, we don't. That's like the one thing that Brody keeps asking Stanley about.
He's like, so
His
think,
dinguses.
like, is everything made of rock? He's like, Jesus Christ. Just give it
He's
a
having this
break.
like meaningful conversation with Stanley. He keeps talking about dripping hogs.
Tripping hogs. What if season 3 is getting got a trailer? I have zero interest in this.
Yeah,
I think what
but
I'll do
it's
is
like how they're positioning this too. They're like, one last time, it's all gonna come to an end. It's like, what? These are like hypothetical cartoons. Like, this isn't meaningful at all.
yeah. No,
Like, it all ends. I'm like, okay.
I watched all of season 1. We did an episode on it. I was very disappointed. I cherry picked a couple of episodes in season 2 and was like, all right, they were fine, but I'm like, I'm not gonna watch this whole series. So same with this.
Yeah.
Something I am excited about rewatching out today as we record this. If you're listening to the podcast, already out. Deadpool and Wolverine on Disney Plus.
Oh, I'm about to make a name of myself here.
I love this movie so much. It's my favorite movie of 2024.
It's my favorite movie ever. It's the greatest movie ever made.
I had a blast. This was one that I actually wanted to see in the theater a second time and I didn't. So when we're done with this, I'm gonna give it a rip.
Well, somebody asked me, I forget, it was like asking about the two of us, like which one is Wolverine and which one's Deadpool. I can tell you
I think that's
without it, it's not even close.
No.
That you are the Deadpool to my Wolverine, or I am the Wolverine to your Deadpool. It's not even up for discussion.
No, I don't think it's for debate. I think everything about it would suggest that. Hero is barking at me. What are you barking at?
He's agreeing with me.
I gotta.
I think in our younger days. Yeah, I'll talk. I'll walk you through this kind of like.
Walk me through that, and then you can also answer Brett's question. I'm just gonna let Hero out real quick.
Now, I'm a person who I like the sound. Like, I don't like the sound of my own voice. Clearly I can talk at any point, but I think in our younger days, and I know you like hearing about these things like when we were young, but like, I don't know if I've ever turned to a person and be like, dude, you need to shut the fuck up just for a minute, other than dealing with Rich Keefe. I don't think I've ever looked at somebody and lovingly said, I need you to just kind of shut the fuck up right now. More than I've said it to you.
Yeah.
You did sometimes. You did sometimes.
Occasionally. Maybe if I had like a
there's also that when you catch you in a weird mood and you get in that like double down mood.
Yes.
It's almost impossible to stop you.
Shark's defense. So I lived with Shark sophomore year. I lived with you my junior year.
Yeah.
Shark's defense when he could sense that is he would just shut down and not say anything.
And not say anything. I can't do it. I'm a last worder.
Right. So he would just shut up and like he'd be like, all right, the only way I'm gonna sleep tonight is if I don't respond to anything that he says. And you could tell those nights where it's just like shark, and nothing. Just crickets. And you're like, fuck. Like, all right, I guess he's going to bed.
Like David, like, what? All right. So my thoughts on the Mars Volta, since this is the question I was asked by Brett. So I really like a lot of what the Mars Volta does. Now, as you know, Rich, are you familiar with this band?
I am not.
I will pitch this to you. So what if the band At the Drive-In broke up? 2 guys from At the Drive-In formed the Mars Volta. The other 3 formed a band called Sparta. And both of those bands are really fucking good.
Wow. Okay.
So Mars Volta's first album, Delouse in the Comatorium, is one of my favorite albums of like that era. That like kind of screamo prog era. I mean, that album is a fucking masterpiece. They do get a little weird for me. But if you've seen a At the Drive-In live performance, they're absolute psychos. And I know you're aware of At the Drive-In because we were introduced to them in high school by our good friend Brad Rayome, who I remember hearing that and being like, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, and he would do like an interpretive dance to. Yes, he went through this phase where he started taking Tide and writing on because it was blacklight sensitive, and he was writing. He was writing all over his wall, and like you couldn't tell unless you turned the black light on. And then I remember he was doing his weird Mars Volta because he was doing like what the Mars Volta do on stage, or like At the Drive-In did on stage, which is just like these weird dances. And then he turned on the black light, and I just remember, you remember it too, like on his wall, it's just in huge Tide. It just said "fuck life."
Fuck life. It Tide. Yeah. That was him in Woody's room, right? You go down there. We'd play crepes down there.
Play crepes and listen to At the Drive-In. Good times.
Yeah, it was.
But so to answer your question, Mars Volta is great. I would love to see them live too. I haven't yet.
Very good. Jason in the chat says, "Hey, Rich, you should ask Christian Gonzalez if he would rather be really hot or really cold and see where he goes with that." Honestly, I think I might.
There you
So
go.
Christian Gonzalez, Patriots cornerback, for those that dabble over and listen to the Jones and Keefe show.
I call him Gonzo, but that's because we're friends.
Yeah, your buds.
No one else call him that. Yeah.
He's a tough nut to crack, this guy. He doesn't want to talk about anything. He does the interview every week. Huh?
He's Matt Schaubing you.
Pretty much. But he doesn't want to talk about football. He doesn't want to talk about non-football. So honest to God, Jason, I think I might ask him that.
Here's a question I would want you to ask him too. I want you to stop in the middle of what you and Jones are doing and be like, "Hey, what do you want to talk about since nothing we're saying is interesting you?" And I know you have to do this because you're contractually obligated. So I will open the floor to you.
Yeah, go ahead. Have some. Please.
What do you like?
I don't think he likes
like cars. Do you like cars? What do you like?
No, to the point, we've kind of done that, like not as bluntly. And we asked him, like, he said he brought up to us that like he watches like TV or whatever, like, because we're asking him, like, buy or like off time or whatever. And he's like, I'm like watching TV. And so, me, I perk up.
Like, all right, man.
I go, all right, well, what are you watching? Do you want to know what his answer was?
What?
Whatever's hot on Netflix. Didn't name a single show, movie, anything, documentary, nothing. I was like, all right, great.
Love it.
Anyway, how about this news? Macaulay Culkin is going to be in Fallout Season 2.
Yeah, man.
Love it.
They said he's a very significant character too, right? Like an egghead, kind of like very significant character. Could he be Mr. House? If you played New Vegas, like, could he be like the disembodied head of Mr. House?
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. He could be.
Which would be pretty awesome.
Could be. Of course,
did you already see him though?
Oh, I don't know. I forget.
I feel like you already saw him.
You guys might know Macaulay Culkin from the movie Saved with Mandy Moore. That's what he was in.
Tell you. Yeah, the guy who plays Mr. House was already in it. Well, anyway. Saved is a great movie.
It's good. Yeah, he's good in it.
Yeah.
Mandy Moore's a good actress.
Nashua Zone.
That's right. Macaulay Culkin's brothers have both been like excellent actors.
Oh, Kieran is like out of this world.
Yeah. And so good for Macaulay to get back in it. How about this, Ryan? This was news from the week. Zendaya, Tom Holland, there are a couple, Matt Damon, and Anne Hathaway are all set to star in the next Christopher Nolan movie.
Can't wait.
You gonna watch that?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
We're all gonna watch that.
I know, it's Nolan. We've seen every Nolan movie. We've talked about it.
Seen every Nolan, even Following, which was a little ahead of its time, I think.
Well, maybe so.
Yeah.
Speaking of Zendaya, the other report came out is that the show Euphoria is dead. They were talking about bringing it back. I kept saying the longer you wait when you have 20-year-olds that are playing high school characters, the longer you wait, the more ridiculous it is, unless you do like a time jump. And they kept saying they would still do it. They'd still do it. One of the great characters from the show, portrayed by the actor Angus Cloud, who died. Unfortunately, they were still, even at that point, they were like, well, we might come back with Euphoria. This is the Sydney Sweeney Zendaya show, which is a good show. Like, I was late to it. I was like, I'd see the previews and I'd be like, I don't know. Even for me, I like a sexy teen drama. I was like, I don't know. It's awesome, dude. Like, I recommend this. This show's good.
And the other thing too is like Zendaya and Sydney Sweeney are on such a fucking rocket ship. Like, it's going to be hard to convince them to do TV without paying them through the goddamn nose.
Oh, you're gonna pay them like friends. You're gonna be like Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox. Yeah. Like, so that's not happening.
The two of them are gonna be like, do you understand how much money I'm turning down just by considering doing TV?
Right. Like, I'm in any. Do you know how many movies those two must be offered? It was insane.
It's like as I'm speaking to you, I probably just lost money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's funny that they're in that show. It's funny to go back and watch that show now because they're probably the two biggest movie star actresses today, right?
Yeah, they're like the it kids of Hollywood right now.
And then what's his name is like one of the big hunks in Hollywood. The dude from that show too. What's his name?
Ryan Davey.
Ryan Davey. Yeah, Ryan says here Ryan Davey.
You said hunks. I just assumed you were talking about me.
All right, let me look it up. You'll know. Is it Jacob Ellery?
Elordi?
Jacob Elordi.
How do
You
you
know
I don't
who
know how
that
to
is.
say it.
UTM is.
I know it is. I know it is. I just don't know how to say it.
Hunter Schafer was in the movie Cuckoo, which I want to see.
I do want to see that too.
I want to see that badly. But yeah, good cat. And then Judd Apatow's daughter was in that show too.
Maud. Wasn't Kevin Smith's daughter in it too?
I don't think so.
She was in something that somebody was watching the other day.
Yeah, Kevin Smith movies. She was in Yoga Hosers and she was in Tusk.
No.
Harley Quinn Smith?
Yes.
What do you think she was in?
I thought she was in Euphoria. She was in something. She's been in like a show of note that I was like, where I was watching. Oh, she's in this?
Yoga Hosers. Oh, she was in Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Maybe that's what you're talking about.
I don't think that's what I was talking about. No.
Let's see. Television. She was in Masters of the Universe, Cruel Summer,
No,
Halloween Wars.
no, he's not. I'm making it up.
All right. New trailer for the Mission Impossible next one. The Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
So there was
movies-
an author. Yeah, this guy who I follow who's an author who wrote the book. Like John dies at the end, and he writes for Cracked. He's like the editor of Cracked. He was saying it was really funny listening to him. He's like begging people to please stop letting Tom Cruise do this. He's like 62 years old. He said he's 2 years older than Ian McKellen was when he played Gandalf. It's like, please, like, stop letting him do these things. Like, you're gonna get him killed. Like, let him please gracefully transition to old man roles, please.
It's what he would want to do, though. I think he would want to go out like.
You think if Tom Cruise goes out in like a plane stunt, like that's how he's gonna do it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or he probably thinks, and I'm not even trying to make fun. Does he think he's gonna get like beamed up to like another planet or something?
He absolutely does.
Yeah. So maybe that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Do you know who he said he wants to take over? I don't know if it's the Ethan Hunt role or just like the mantle of the Mission Impossible. Did you know what actor he said?
Who?
Glenn Powell.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Glenn Powell's a kick-ass, dude.
Oh, he kicks ass.
He's great. Speaking of kick-ass, Ryan, we got a date for season 2 of Andor, April 22nd. So all we gotta do is wait a few more months, and then we get Andor, which is one of the great TV shows of the last couple of years.
And we're talking about, so this takes place. So this is the last season of Andor?
Yes.
Because it's going to run right up to Rogue One. And it's like, so it's basically, this happens a couple years before. And then it's like every 2 episodes is a year or something. Every 2 or 3 episodes is 1 year. And it takes over like it takes over the span of like 3 years.
I think you're close. I think it's 12 total episodes.
Yeah.
So
and every 3 episodes is a year.
Either 3 or 4, they jump it. Yep.
So do you bring back, do Forrest Whitaker and like, what's her name? Jyn Erso. Do they show up?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would think so. Maybe it's just the last episode.
And
but
what was Alan Tudyk? Was it K2SO?
Yeah, I think we'd finally
I
do
love K2SO.
Yeah, because I remember when they came out and they're like, he's not going to be in season 1. I was like, well, what the fuck? But like, I think he is. I think he might already be confirmed for season 2.
Low key, one of my favorite droids of all of Star Wars.
Real good.
Yeah,
I like him. Alien Romulus is going to be on Hulu on November 21st. I didn't see it in theater, so I am all in on this. This could maybe be a standalone
of it. Yeah, because they said it's getting a sequel.
Yeah, and it's the guy Fede Alvarez who directed Don't Breathe.
You know what they should call the sequel?
What?
Remus.
Alien Remus after Romulus and Remus.
It's Romulus and Remus. Remus's twin brother. Romulus' twin brother.
Or even the Romans and Greeks.
Okay. We'll see.
They should call it that.
We'll see if they do that.
That would be really good.
I watched all of Teacup. It was a quick sprint on Peacock. It was not a lengthy show. Did not have a lot of length. But
some girth.
Some girth. Yeah, some. I think it ended up being a skip it for me. Like I gave it a 3.5.
You kind of talked me out of it.
I did, because as I was selling it to you, I was like, when I was 2 episodes in, I was like, watch it. And then when I was 4 episodes in, I was like, well, let's see. And then after, I think it's only 6 episodes, I was like, no, not a dump. Like, if people like Teacup, I'm good for you. Like, I'm glad you liked it. I like the idea more than the whole way it kind of played out.
Yeah, I kind of got the sense that like you were trying to talk yourself into it too, while trying to talk
Yeah.
me into it.
I like the
I
idea.
kind of like where it's going, but I don't know. I'm like, all right, well, and every time you brought
You're
it up,
going
it
to
got
have
a little
problems, just like everything else. But stay positive and stay strong.
That's
like
what I felt.
your confidence waned the more you talked about it,
Yeah.
which is a shame.
Yeah. One show I'm pumped about, and I haven't started it yet, but season 3 of From is just smoking right along. It ends in 2 weeks.
Frums.
I'm gonna rip Frums. I'm gonna watch all 3 Frums, and then a friend of the podcast, Nick Fryer, he of the Fryer's Helmet, is gonna jump on the podcast, and we're gonna talk From at some point.
I want him, if he's going to take my place on a podcast, he needs to prominently display or wear that helmet.
I think he'd wear the helmet, probably.
He would.
Yeah, he'd do it. Ryan, some sad news to pass along since our last show.
Pick of the bomb.
Pick of the bomb.
Pick of the bomb.
Pick of the pod.
Film legend Tony Todd
Fucking
passed
shame.
away. Only 69 years old, too, and
Nice.
obviously known for Candyman, and more recently in our dork world, voiced Venom.
The perfect voice of Venom.
Oh, what a voice this guy has!
Perfect voice of Venom.
So that was
It's a damn shame.
that was tough for sure.
Yeah.
You got a video game minute?
Just a quick NCAA football update.
Davey's video game minute. Even if it takes more than a minute.
So I want you to come clean right now with it, since we're playing a lot of EA college football.
Oh my god, this is a great story. Actually,
I want you to come clean with this. You need to tell the people what you did. Okay, so let me backstory. So we have talked a lot about my rookie mode,
Madden.
in Madden, where like we were playing like a local it wasn't online, but we were like playing. Everyone had a team, and we would like play our games and like whatever. And I was outed. I did a bad thing, in which I was playing all of my games on rookie mode, and everyone else was playing on like All American or whatever. Not All American. It was
All pro or all
All
Mad,
Pro or
whatever the hell it
something, right?
was. Yeah.
And so like I may have flown a little too close to the sun, because we all created ourselves on the teams we played for. I believe I played for the Titans.
Yeah.
And I was the starting running back of the Titans. And I think in like week 5, I had like 1,000 rushing yards.
Yeah, me and Bess, you're like, what is going on with this?
Like, what is going on?
I'm
You're not even that
trying
good
to-
at this game. Like, how are you doing this? I'm like, I don't know. And so that I earned the nickname Rookie Mode, which was like a very, now tell the people what you did to me.
No, dude, not to you, to everybody,
You
including
did it
myself.
to everyone, but like
This is
more so
right.
because I was ready to like quit
No,
video gaming.
so
for
this
the
was
rest of my life.
hilarious. So college football, we were playing on like varsity mode, because there's like we all haven't played in such a long time. So we're like,
Yep.
let's just ease into it. We're all taking bad teams. We're just gonna play on varsity mode and see how it goes. And we played the first season, and it was like fine. So then we're playing the second.
Wasn't fine.
No, the first season was okay. I don't think it happened in the first season. It was okay, like whatever. Like
Yeah.
we were taking our lumps, but I think
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure when it happened, because I could probably tell you when it happened.
Yeah.
So in the second season, I was like, because you got to wait for everybody to play their games, right? And so people weren't, and I'm like, I wanted to play. It hadn't been playing yet, so I'm like, all right, let me get out of dynasty mode, and I'm gonna practice against the computer, but I'll play on Heisman against the computer. So then when I go back to the thing, it'll be a lot easier. So I'm just playing like exhibition games on Heisman. Unbeknownst to me, when you change your skill level in the game settings on the main menu, it goes into your dynasty and changes it. Because do you remember, I literally scored on varsity mode like 111 points in one game, like just stupid.
Yes.
And
It's
then,
not, the disparity between like the levels. There's only 4 levels, and the disparity between them is ridiculous.
it's
Like
crazy.
if you play a level down, like it's so easy.
So then I think I put up a crazy number of points, and then the next week I lost by 3, and I'm like, what the fuck happened to me? I'm like,
And meanwhile,
Jesus
like,
Christ,
I'll
I can't
play games-
tackle anybody. It's insane.
Like I play a game, like I played really well. Like I'm Minnesota, so I was playing like Penn State, who was like the 3rd ranked team in the country. And
Yeah.
then I lost by like 6, and I was like, oh,
Mhm.
like tough loss, but like
Yeah,
they're really
yeah.
good, and my team's not that good, whatever. And then I played like
Oregon.
Michigan or Oregon the next week and lost like 75-6. Like I got absolutely mollywopped. And I was like, I don't know what's happening. Like I don't know.
It was crazy. And then so like not to brag, I ended up still winning the title that year, but I gave up a million points and I'm throwing picks left and right. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, the game shouldn't be this tough on varsity. And it turns out it wasn't. So then we're in year 3. Everybody had gone through year 2. We're in year 3, and same thing. I'm on the dynasty page. Somebody like I can't play yet, so I'm just fiddle fucking around. I'm looking at like the Heisman voting. I'm looking at stuff. I go to league settings and I click on it, and it says like difficulty Heisman. I'm like, Heisman? Why is it on Heisman? And then I Googled it. I was like, what is? I'm like, does the dynasty level change? So what I thought happened, I'm like, maybe because I won it the year before, they were like, we're kicking it up a notch. Like not even telling you. And I'm like, that'd be dumb. And then I read somebody's like, yeah, if you're on your like home screen and you change the settings, it changes it in your own dynasty, which is insane.
So it's funny because like the way I found out, I was like, I said something to you. I was like, I think I'm starting to figure it out. Like I'm starting to win some games. Like I'm starting to be better. And you're like, actually, you're not. You actually were never really bad at it. You just just
So now we're back on varsity and everybody's undefeated except for Fridge, who's only lost is Ike head to head against like, so it's like nobody's lost to the computer this season. So I'm like, yep, this is what it should have been like the year before.
And I just beat Michigan for the first time in 6 years. My coaching score, I'm no longer on the hot seat. I'm not going to get fired. I'm 8-0, so I'm not going to get fired this year, which there was a real possibility after year 2, after the Heisman year. I legitimately thought I was going to get fired from my job.
They were thinking that. Yeah, so Davey's still Minnesota. Our buddy Ike is Buffalo. Fridge is UConn, and he joined the MAC just so he could play Ike head to head. Didn't go his way. And then I'm still Wyoming out in the Mountain West. So it's maybe after this year.
Make the 5-star recruit for me, you bastard. You're not even going to play.
It is funny because Wyoming and Minnesota are like, I guess, somewhat close compared to other schools, that a lot of your recruits and my recruits like overlap. And I'm like, compete because you took 2 of my guys.
But I really wanted that kid who was like a power, like 5-star diamond power back. And I'm like, oh, I need this because I run like a pro style, like a balanced offense. And
dude,
all you do is throw.
I literally throw it every play. So why he chose me, I do not know. I do not know. I have a quarterback and 2 receivers as like Heisman candidates right now. And like I don't run the ball ever. But anyway,
it's portal next year.
He's gonna be long gone. He's like, what the fuck did I sign up for? No, but the game's been a blast. I'm having fun with it.
So fun.
Y'all ready for Bisque? Right, ready for the topic du jour?
I thought we were already doing that.
I'm glad you asked. It's the topic of the day. And today it is this idea that there's going to be a new Star Wars trilogy. And they've released some of the details, not all of the details. There are a lot of rumors that it's going to be episodes 10, 11, and 12.
Okay.
So obviously, for those that aren't familiar with Star Wars, the OG Star Wars was really episode 4, 5, 6. Then when we were kind of growing up, they came out with 1, 2, and 3. They have since more recently come out with then 7, 8, 9. And now they might add on a trilogy after that. And Simon Kinberg is who they have tabbed to both write and produce it. I'd say a mixed bag on this.
Mixed bag on this,
to be honest.
Yeah.
Let me tell you the movies that he has written. And I'll throw a movie out, and you say if that's good news or bad news for Star Wars fans.
Okay.
XXX State of the Union.
That's very bad news for us.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
That's good news.
Okay. X-Men, The Last Stand.
That's very, very bad news for anything that this guy does in the future.
Yep. Jumper.
I like Jumper.
You know what's funny is Doug Liman directed both Jumper and Mr. and Mrs. Smith, so that actually wasn't bad. Sherlock Holmes.
See, that the Guy Ritchie one, right? With Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
Fantastic movie.
All right. He wrote something called This Means War, which I never saw. He wrote
Oh,
X-Men.
that's terrible. So This Means War was the one. It was like Tom Hardy and Chris Pine with Reese Witherspoon. That movie stunk. And when it came out, you thought like, oh, this is gonna work. Like you got two hunks and Reese Witherspoon at the top of her game.
That's not good.
Yeah.
X-Men Days of Future Past.
Love that movie.
I love it as well. The Fan Four Stick. The Michael B. Jordan Fantastic Four.
He wrote that or produced it?
He did both.
I think
Josh Trank famously directed it, but Simon Kinberg wrote and produced it.
And they should call it Josh Tank because he absolutely tanked that movie. I think he did it on purpose because they wouldn't let him make the movie he wanted to. So he put out when's the last time you heard Josh Trank's name?
There was like one thing after that, and then he pitched a fit about something and whatever else. But Kinberg wrote it with Trank and another guy named Jeremy Slater. So he's not like the only guy that wrote it, but his name is on that. Also, X-Men Apocalypse.
Terrible.
Dark Phoenix.
Awful.
The 355.
I don't know what that is.
He directed this movie too. It is a American spy thriller film.
I might have to watch it.
Jessica Chastain, Penelope Cruz, Diane Kruger, Lupita Nyong'o.
Okay.
I don't hate that. Let's see. Reception. What are the people saying? It is Roddy T's 24%. Does seem low. He also did The Killer's Game, which just came out this year. Oh, that's the crazy one with like Batista and Terry Crews and Ben Kingsley and Palm Clementia.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
That looks like a Zack Snyder movie to me.
Yeah. Now, here's the other thing, though. This is maybe all of that, I would say, nets out to be a negative, right? Like, I like Days of Future Past. I even like Jumper, but like most of that's a negative. However,
I think Fan Four Stick is so bad, that it trumps all of that, all the good. And you said it's a wash. Right?
What if I told you?
Yeah, I know what's coming.
Co-creator, writer, executive producer of Star Wars Rebels.
Yep, he's a fan.
Now I'm back in.
Now you're back in. You're also back in. I think he produced Logan too.
Oh, did he?
I think so.
Okay. Oh, I think so. His also honestly kind of a mixed bag. Producing wise, he produced. Let's see, just as a producer, X-Men First Class, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Which, by the way, the book Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter is awesome.
Okay. The Martian, Deadpool, Logan, Deadpool 2, New Mutants, and then he did the shitty Death on a Nile, Murder on the Orient Express. But
I feel like some of these movies too, if you think about it, like when he just signed on to produce it, were very different movies. I think because remember the whole thing that like New Mutants was supposed to be a horror movie. So I think when he signed on, it was going to be Marvel. They billed it as Marvel's first horror movie.
Yeah, I agree with that. That should have been better than it was.
That should have been that. And I think they, didn't test well with Marvel audiences, so they canned it and put out that other piece of shit.
Yeah.
Well, COVID obviously hurt it too.
Yeah,
but,
that's awesome.
But I really think
You know what also Simon Kinberg got? He got a thank you credit on both Star Wars: The Force Awakens and Rogue One.
I think him and Filoni might I think
so.
Might have a little thing, not a thing like a relationship thing. I think they might have like collaboration. Like I think they do some collaboration together.
Yeah,
he seems to me like a fan, and everything I've read is like he's a fan.
I know, and it's worked for Filoni, and Filoni's working on his Mandalorian and Grogu movie, but
isn't he also he's kind of leapfrog Kathleen Kennedy, right? Like he's making all these decisions.
I think Filoni's got a big thing, and so I don't know if it's just Star Wars stuff, and you're telling me Kinberg had something to do with Rebels, Rogue One, and Force Awakens. I think I gotta give him a chance.
You got to give him a chance. I mean, especially again, I think what you're finding is that even though we just talked about the Penguin too, people like Matt Reeves who are fans know better.
Agreed.
Like let them do the job. Like let people who are actually not people who are going to make you money, Because I think,
Yeah.
like you said, when I ask you, like, is it your favorite song or is it the best song? You're like, to me, that's the same thing, right?
Yep.
I think it's
Yep.
this, like, you let people like I had a point with that. And I lost it. I got distracted.
Well,
But
I think if you can find that guy that is both good at writing and creating
I know what I was gonna
films,
say. Yeah.
is also just so passionate about it, and is gonna like the thing with Filoni is he's taken some of the flaws and stuff that's already out there and like made it better. Like he made the prequels better by
Right.
telling the story of Clone Wars and Rebels.
But what I was going to go with that is like, is it good or is it going to make me money or is it good? You can do both.
Yeah.
You can do both, and if you do it the right way. And I think Marvel, like the Russo brothers, showed you that. Like if you
Yes.
put care and effort into these things, you'll get the money you want, but also the fans will appreciate it. And I think
Look
that's
at
where Star
Ryan
Wars.
Reynolds.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds loves Deadpool and wanted to make a Deadpool movie.
And look at fucking Charlie Cox, same thing.
Yep.
Like he's just like, I'm not letting anyone else. I don't care if it's bad. I'm not letting anyone else play Deadpool.
Yeah.
I mean, a Daredevil. I'm not letting anyone else do it.
Dude, it's funny. So when they first announced that it was Kinberg, I was like, oh man, because I was thinking of all the movies and all like the bad X-Men movies. And I was like, shit. And then I'm also thinking, oh, I did see his name pop up on all the Rebels credits when I was watching Rebels. And he's a big Star Wars guy. And he's not directing these. He's just writing them. He's producing them. I'm sure he'll co-write them with maybe whoever the director is or whatever else. So I guess my question for you, do you, because I don't know if this has been confirmed. So do you want an episode 10, 11, and 12, or would you prefer like a separate trilogy based on some other story? I don't think I need a Rey trilogy, to be honest.
No, but I think you need to, if it's going to take place after the Skywalker saga, I think you need to do something new. And I think there is a place for the new Jedi Council in this world.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what people really like now, you look at Andor, you look at the Bad Batch or Rebels, or you really like these stories that take place on the ground, not necessarily in the stars so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where it's been really good. Like even like the Mandalorian, like there are aspects of that, but like I also don't want it to be too serious.
Yeah.
I want it to be fun. I don't want it to be dark. Like that's not what Star Wars to me is. And I think I think episodes 8 and 9 got a little too dark.
Yep. Which I don't know. I feel like there's a time and a place. Like if they really, like if you lean into, and I guess maybe dark's not the right word, but like anything with Darth Maul back in the day, or the Night Sisters, or like some good Darth Vader stuff, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, so,
and you have directors who are interested in doing this. And and again, like, you don't have to go fucking crazy with it too. Like I, as much as I love like Denis Villeneuve, like I don't want to see his Star Wars movie. I don't want to see a Christopher Nolan Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
But Jon Favreau's right there.
Yeah, no, I like it. And I'm curious
right there
what characters they're gonna put in it, because you know, The Mandalorian takes place after episode 6. So like a lot has been done. Like, so you have Andor, Rogue One, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Rebels, Clone Wars. You have like all these movies that take place prior to episode 4, right? Which to me still is the sweet spot between 3 and 4, Darth Vader becoming who he really is. But then you have The Mandalorian, you have Ahsoka, and you have, I think, Skeleton Crew, which is coming out, is all post 6. So it's between 6 and 7. But then you can also tell the story. There's certain characters from there that maybe we don't know their fates, and we don't see them in 7, 8,
particular.
9. Boom. What do you got?
Well, I'm dying to see in 10, 11, and 12, like how his story plays out. Give me my man Chewbacca. He's the guy, and like there are. We almost lost C-3PO.
Mm-hmm.
You know what happens to C-3PO and R2-D2 when this is all over? Like, what do they do?
I like it. There's a lot of ways to go, and then you can always create some new villains. Because I also love that idea of Thrawn being like afraid of somebody more than like the Emperor. Remember that story that you were telling me? Like that idea that there's like, oh yeah, you think the Emperor's like legit? Because you're like, yeah, I do. And you're like, Thrawn's worried about somebody bigger than that, which I think would be an amazing story to tell.
And like it would be great again. And I think that the Acolyte dabbled into this, but like the Force is not exclusive to Jedi and Sith.
Yes. And they can go back to that and lean on that.
And again, they didn't do it the right way, but like again, you said like Dathomir, Night Sisters, like the Force is like not their thing. Like there's other people who can figure that out too. But wouldn't you love? I'm gonna old man Chewbacca, like at home on Kashyyyk, and like they pull him one last ride.
Stories, telling his stories. The people would be like, yeah, sure, that happened.
Okay, old man. But he's like, no, like,
and then this.
I was there. I saw this whole thing.
Yeah.
And so like Han Solo says it in 7. He's like, no, that was real. Like I was there. Like Chewbacca was there before him, or they're like around the same time. But like, he saw more because remember they meet. He's like 100 years old.
Oh yeah, he was on Kashyyyk for quite a time.
Yeah, I would love to see him back on Kashyyyk, like not running the place, but being like in his down years, almost like an Unforgiven, but with like Chewbacca.
I like it.
I
like it. Very good. Yeah, let us know what you guys want to see in this new Star Wars trilogy.
My Taika Waititi Droids movie.
Yeah, I'd watch that, obviously.
Yeah.
That'd be good. That'd probably be great. All right, Ryan, that'll do it for us. Everybody, tell a friend, tell a dork. You can get us wherever you get your podcasts. We also stream live on YouTube. You can always go back after the fact and watch it at Dork Podcast, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Very easy to find. And next week, we'll have to kick it around because the Penguin's over. We've been doing one episode a week on the Penguin, so now we have 2 free ones. I do definitely want to do a Detroiters episode at some point. Yeah. That'll be fun as hell. Actually, maybe. Oh no, it'll be 2 weeks. Alien Romulus. Maybe we'll do that in 2 weeks when that comes out. But all right, we will let you guys know, and we will talk to you very soon. And in the meantime, Ryan, promise me a million times over you'll never do another rule.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna promise you that.
The #Dork Podcast. Shut up.